Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And you're gonna have to excuse the background noise that you hear. It is a real hot day here in Southern California, and my air conditioners are on full blast. But today we're gonna be taking a look at something myself, and I know a lot of Transformer fans have really been looking forward to. Today we're gonna be taking a look at the ThreeA Premium Scale Bumblebee from Transformers Dark of the Moon. Now, as you can see, this package is huge. I have to be really far back to kind of get it all in there, but what's really neat is you see a nice image here kind of blended in with the black of Bumblebee from the side. It looks terrific. And then you come around here to the side, you can see that image kind of carries over. On the opposite side, nothing, but you do have the Transformers logo down here, which is also labeled as the retail edition. There are two versions of this. This, as well as a special version that comes with the control pillar from the Dark of the Moon. I didn't get that, but that is a set that's available. I honestly don't know exactly where you get it from, but on the back here, you got Transformers here along the side. What's really cool, and I'm gonna come down here, because I think that this is really neat. They actually put the tech specs for Bumblebee down there. I think that's really quite neat that they actually decided to include that. I mean, that's really nice. I mean, you got his strength, intelligence, speed, endurance, rank, courage, fire blast, and of course skill. I mean, that's a really neat touch that honestly not even a lot of Transformer figures from official places like Hasbro right now are actually doing. So it's cool to see that this company actually is doing that with the tech specs. Now, this is a officially licensed product from Hasbro and of course Transformers, so it's gonna have all the logos and everything like that. On the top here, you got the nice Autobot logo right there. Then this whole section lifts up just like so, and then on the inside you get layers and layers of foam that actually protect the figure within. And as you can see, again, really big. The figure is quite impressive in terms of the size, but you can see you got an outer layer of foam, but actually it's upside down, but just flipping this over, that's basically what you have. So you can see where it kind of fits in, and then this layer comes out, and then you got another layer, and then that layer, and then you got these layers right here that are in between that kind of help hold everything in place. Then you got another layer that comes out, and then you can see right here actually is where the control pillar would go. That's already cut out, so if you do get that piece, it's just fit right in there. And then you got some extra little foam pieces here, and then another layer of foam, and then another layer of foam. It's like, you know, like one of those little things where you take it, you lift it up, and there's another smaller version. You take that up, and there's a little smaller version. It just keeps going and going, and then there's another piece of foam in there, and again, I just hit the camera, and then you got the Autobot logo on the inside there, and again, I got it upside down, so I should probably put it the right way, but there you have it, and my camera doesn't want to focus. But this thing is ridiculously massive, and I absolutely love all the foam that they put in there to really make sure that the figure is very well taken care of during shipping. All the different layers of foam here really do insulate the figure perfectly, and while the outer box might get damaged, the figure on the inside is not going to get touched. But for the packaging, that's about it for it. So without further ado, let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Bumblebee opened up and out of his packaging. And I kid you not, there's an actual figure. This is not an image from the movie or anything. I mean, it's really here. This is absolutely stunning. I cannot get over how great this is. Now, right up front, people are going to be like, well, it's a Transformer and it doesn't transform. You're absolutely right. It does not transform. And I have zero problem with that, because this is, without question, the most faithful recreation of the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee in articulated form. This is not a statue. It is a fully articulated figure that really is incredible looking. And again, people are going to automatically just complain because it doesn't transform. And why do I want a Transformer that doesn't transform? Well, I mean, the only real way to get something like this in this amount of detail and faithful recreation would honestly be to make him not transform. I mean, even the CGI itself kind of cheats. We don't see where all millions and millions of parts of an actual Camaro kind of go to reconfigure to look like this. And I am absolutely blown away by the amount of detail that 3A has put into this. Now, as I said, this is a very large figure. So I'm going to do some size comparisons right now just to kind of give you an idea. So setting that there on the side. Now, in terms of a Transformer comparison, here he is next to the Leader Class Thundercracker. And as you see, he comes up, I mean, at the wings there, he comes up to about his waist area. So you're starting to get an idea of just how big this dude really is. 3/1/6 scale collector figures, here we have him next to the Hot Toys Bones, which is about 12 inches tall. So again, you can see right about where that is. You're looking at about mid-chest area. As I said, this guy is listed as 15 inches tall, so this looks about right. And kind of in keeping with the 6 scale sort of a scale, you can see here he is next to the largest Iron Man figure that I have in my collection currently, that being the Igor armor. So again, you can really see, I mean, this is a massive piece just by itself, but you can see just how big this really is. But even still, this is one of Hot Toys' largest Iron Man figures, which really does have a lot of intricate details and is really very impressive just by itself. But you can see when you compare it to what 3A has done with Bumblebee, the level of detail and intricacy with all the parts really does blow something like Igor away. I don't really do it a lot, but here's a tape measure just to kind of give you an idea, and you can see he's actually a little bit over 15 inches or so. I mean, with the wings here in the back, because they sit up a little bit higher, it's almost like he's about 15 and a half, 15 and 3/4 inches. And again, the detail is ridiculously stellar on this guy. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying the word stellar because that's really what it thinks, or really what I think of when I look at this. I mean, look at the amount of detail just really put throughout that, and all the detail that's in here does not take away from all the articulation that the figure has. I mean, coming all the way up here to the, I mean, you can see the great amount of detail here in his actual face. I mean, all the intricate small little parts all throughout there look ridiculously awesome. You got these nice little wing things that come up here. You look in his arm, you can see all the gears and things like that. You turn it here on the side, lifting his arm up, you can see more gears kind of coming down here so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. And I'm fiddling with the camera a little bit, but you can see all the little gears and things like that. You come down here and it's like his engine is right there. It's all absolutely gorgeous when you look at it. You come around here to the abdomen section, you can see all those little pistons and things like that. Those don't move or anything, they're all sculpted in, which all in all just really well put together and absolutely captures that look of Bumblebee in, well, specifically the Dark of the Moon movie. I mean, you got his license plate right there, which it doesn't say California or anything like that, which I don't think it actually did in the later movies. It might have said that in the first movie, but I don't think it did later on. But coming down here again with the legs, you can see one thing that's really cool is getting this faithful recreation. You're really able to look at this and see what parts kind of go where on an actual car. Like, for example, these bits right here are right in front of the rear wheels. So when, like, you're able to look at some of these and like where would this piece go on the car? You come around here to the back, and again, all this detail here, there's his butt, there's all that detail just in his butt and stuff. I mean, it's really insane. So coming back up here, I kind of should have been spinning it the whole way, but you're coming around here to the actual back of Bumblebee, and again, you got all these different like exhaust pipe looking things. You got these little pieces right here, and you can see a great amount of detail actually built in to those little wing things as well. It's really very impressive. I mean, obviously those are the doors. You come around here to the bottom section and you got these little bits right here that you've seen in the movies, but you get a much closer look at it, and it's like you can see that this is the carbon fiber that makes up those black stripes, you know, on the hood and roof of the car itself. I mean, so it's incredible that you're able to kind of sit there and just kind of play with it and see where all those parts on a car would kind of go to making a robot. You come around here and you can see all these different gears on his actual arm. I'm coming over to the side so that you can see that. So you got all those different molded details there. You come up here, there's so much on here. I feel like I'm just gonna miss some spots, but it's like here are some red bits that maybe those are the lights, the tail lights of them or something. Who knows? You can see you got some some real nice detail here on the tires. You can see some nice dirt on the inside of the treads. So incredibly cool. And then coming down here again, just looking at all those details, I apologize so much, guys, because I'm really seeing a lot of the same stuff over and over again, but I'm really just absolutely blown away by how great this entire piece is. You come down here to the actual legs itself, and then you got kind of the feet as well down here, and I'm going to angle down so you can kind of see that. Again, great detail on the inside here. You can see part of the actual like rim, I guess, that holds the tire. Come around these nice pistons here. You got his feet, which really do look very similar, but I mean, great amount of detail throughout this entire piece. That, like I said, it isn't a statue. It is a fully articulated figure that just is absolutely detailed to the max. If this is any indication of what we're going to get with, say, Megatron and Optimus Prime, and recently they revealed that they're also going to be doing Starscream. If this is any indication of what those figures are going to be like, I am absolutely going to be having a field day with these, because this is really one of the most amazing figures that I have in my entire collection, and I have a lot of stuff. And while this thing does not transform, I cannot take my hands off of this. I keep playing with it and honestly discovering new things that pop every single time I play with it. Like, for example, let's just go over the articulation. First off, the head is on two different joints. You got a lower joint right here that is on a ball joint, and then this upper section that also kind of pivots, so you can get a lot of range of motion with it. One thing that does stink is these little pieces come off. I'll touch on these a little bit. They peg down. They're not. It's not really bad, but if you keep playing with this head, it comes off. You come around here to the back though, and again, it's parts like this that I'm amazed. You got these little sections right here, like the back. I don't even know what these are for, but these are articulated, so you can move those around and you can angle them back and get a much higher range of motion. He's got these little sections right here that actually are on ball joints, so you can emote these all over the place. They can move side to side, they can rotate all the way around, you can flex them forward and back if you want to. Again, that kind of pops out. This is meant for the actual battle mask, so you take those off just like so. I might as well do it right now because they keep flopping off. And then you have the battle mask right here, and then you got these little pegs on the inside that slot into these holes right here. So you just bring this down and you just kind of push that in there via friction, and now you have his battle mask, which I really do like that look. Honestly, I prefer the, you know, the open face and stuff, but again, you got these sections right here, the little tabs, and they just, like I said, friction down, but sometimes you don't push them in all the way and they kind of pop out sometimes. But if you're not touching it and playing with it all that much, you're gonna not have a problem with them staying down. It's just I keep moving the head around to kind of show things to you guys, so it kind of messes that up. So one thing I will say is that it lists that this guy has 65 points of articulation. So again, all that articulation is there, and it doesn't really sacrifice any of the amazing detail. So things like, you know, his little ears kind of flexing around, that's a point that I would never have anticipated. The weird little things on the back of his neck moving around, no idea why that's there, but it's there and they put it in the figure. These little bits right here, these can rotate. They can also flex up and down a little bit, so I don't know if that they consider that a point of articulation, but you can kind of emote those around. The arms, and like I was saying before, I discovered this piece of articulation and just playing with it. The arms rotate. You can hear nice ratchet joints. They move in and out, and then when I did that, I like, oh, this little piece is also articulated, so you can rotate that up and it doesn't hinder the articulation. It moves along very nicely with it, and when you move the arms up, you just got to push that back down. So you do have that. The arms here, like I said, very intricate in this, so you do want to be careful when you're going through it, but this is a very rigid and solid piece, so just be careful as you're doing it. He's got two joints here. You got one joint that rotates here, and then another one that rotates right down here. So you got two rotations but only one elbow joint, so that's a little bit more limited. I wish you could get more of a double elbow on there to kind of recreate, for example, when he was dropped down to his knees when he saw Q die. I mean, that would be a cool thing to kind of do, but unfortunately it doesn't. It does have the 2 rotations though. This section here actually slides up and down, so you can, I don't know if they consider that a point of articulation, but that does slide up and down on both sides. The wrists are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion there. Each finger is individually articulated, so you can see you got a knuckle here and a knuckle here, so you can bring those fingers in, and then the thumb rotates right here and then it pivots down. Now this is one part that I don't particularly like. I wish that they made this where it can actually rotate. It doesn't look like it can, and all the promotional images I saw just keep its thumb right on the side. Now it's not bad if you're going to be doing, you know, like a fist or a gripping kind of pose, but a more natural just laying down, I wish that you could rotate this down to have the thumb down this way. With all the added articulation in various parts on this figure, that's something that I wish that they would have included. So that's a bit of a letdown, but everything else, I mean, like I said, if that's the only complaint that I have for this guy, there's really not much else wrong with it. Now I want to come around here to the back, because these sections right here, you can see that the tires do rotate, and this section here, down here at the base, does rotate, and then this can flex, or these can rotate, and then this can pivot forward and back. So you can position this really any way that you want. I kind of like keeping it up in the, you know, the more natural, the Bumblebee kind of look. So that's how I keep them. This section right down here, these little pieces move forward and back. Oh, that popped off, but oh, that just pegs right in there. So these bits do move forward and back, and that popped off too. So you do want to be careful with it. Like I said, the parts are not broken or anything, but you do have the flex right there, so you can move that around, and that, yeah, that just tabs right back in there. So it's perfectly, I mean, they're not falling out and shaking it. They're not falling out or anything. So really cool how that's all incorporated in the back as well. His waist up here at the upper abs, you can see move, well, keeping that down. This section here at the upper section rotates side to side. You don't get a rotation or anything because there's just too much junk in there, so you can rotate that around. The waist can rotate, and then when you come around here to the back, you got a button right here that when you push it, you can actually extend the waist up, and you can get a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion there. And then you can take that, push that button back in, and then collapse that all the way back down. And that just kind of keeps the whole section here looking pretty good, getting these arms out of the way. Come down here, this leg, you can see this just flexes around as part of the range of motion, so that doesn't get in the way. These little bits right here are articulated, so you can move those around and position those. I just extended that up a little bit so you can actually see what's going on. So you do have those little pieces that can move around. You can see the hips move forward and back, and that kind of does that. So that's pretty cool to actually see that function. But you got forward and back, they move in and out, they rotate. Oh, I knocked off one of his little pieces up here. He doesn't rotate at the upper part of the thigh, but he does rotate, and you can hear very heavy duty ratchet joints, which really helps to stabilize this guy. So he rotates there at the knee. He bends here at like 90 degrees at his actual knee, which is a great range of motion for him. Come down here to the ankles, you can see right above this wheel section, that rotates around, and then this section also rotates, so you get a nice range of motion with that, and you can get some wide stances and things like that with it. So really very cool to see all that articulation in there. Like I said, they list it as 65 points of articulation. I'm probably missing some points. Oh, come around here to the back. Where's that piece at? Again, I was playing with it, and you can see that these little sections right here, these are on like little springs, so those flex around. Where was that piece though? There was a small little piston that I found is articulated in here that, oh, here, up in the arm area, this little piece right here, this moves around, so you can kind of position that. I mean, it's really very cool how they were able to get all those details in this. And honestly, like I said, they list 65 points of articulation. I'm probably missing some in showing it to you, but this guy has everything that you could possibly think of built into him. It's an absolute stunning piece. Now, in terms of the extra accessories, I did show you his battle mask. He also does come with a blaster. Now, this is it. You do have to attach it. So all you do is you come around here to the side, lift this, get that out of the way. You got a little button right here that you just push that, and that releases like this little mushroom cap that allows you to take this arm off. And then you can take that, put that on there, push it, and then lock that into place, bend that down, and now you have Bumblebee with his blaster, which I was never really a big fan of it just in general because I thought it was kind of strange, but I mean, he does have it, and you can see that it really retains a lot of that same kind of arm look with the shoulder or forearm guards and things like that. So you do have that as a display option as well if you wanted to use that. If you do get the exclusive version, you do also get that control pillar as I talked about, but unfortunately I didn't get that, and that piece does light up. So it is pretty cool looking. Now, speaking about light up gimmicks, this guy lights up in 3 different spots: his eyes, his chest, and his cannon. Unfortunately, he does not come with the batteries necessary to light him up, but he does come with a set of instructions here that show you exactly how to install them. And as you can see, it requires 3 AG1 batteries. I'm not 100%, I mean, they're like little tiny batteries. I'm not exactly sure what like the Duracell or Energizer equivalent is, but if you type that into Google, I'm sure it would show you what the equivalent for that is. But you need a total of 9 of them. 3 for the head, 3 for the chest, and 3 for his actual gun. So starting off first with his head, you come around here to the back and you can see that this section right here is actually a button. You insert the batteries by taking this section off right here, and then you put the 3 batteries right in there, and then you push this little button right here, and you can see they light up pretty decently. One thing that I am noticing though is that on the side you can see that there's a little bit of bleed of the light coming through, and honestly, I mean, the lights are, it is cool that they actually do light up, but it's kind of a cloudy sort of look. I really wish that there was more detail that was actually put into the eyes. I mean, Bumblebee had a lot of emotion in his eyes in the film themselves, and a lot of those small intricate details are kind of lost in the way that they did these eyes. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that based on all the other detail that's put into the figure with the paint, the scuffs, all that stuff, those small little minute details could have been added into the eyes themselves. I mean, that is a really cool look, and they stand out beautifully. It's just, I think that you could have put a little bit more amazing detail into them. And then you come around to the back, you push that button, get that in there just like so, and that turns off his eyes. Now for the chest, you come around here to the back section again, and the batteries are inserted here. Now, well, you can't see it, but they're put into this section right underneath here, which again are those 3 little button batteries. And then the button to activate those is this section right here in the middle. So when you push that, it nicely lights up the headlights and the front of his chest, which look, again, really very cool. I'm not noticing, I mean, there's a little bit of bleed coming through on the side here, but that actually kind of hides it a little bit better. But one thing that I really love on here is that, I mean, the fact that I drive one of these cars, I know it, you get these really nice high-intensity beams that come from the headlights. And the figure here actually nicely recreates that, especially in terms of the detail on the glass and the look of it. I really like how that looks. And then again, you just push that button in the back, and it turns it off. So real great detail there. With his cannon right here, the batteries are inserted in this section right here, and then the light up section to actually turn it on is this section underneath here. You can see it flexes in and out, but when you push that, bam, you get a really nice LED light coming through there as well, with a real nice red bulb on the inside there. So all in all, I mean, really great amount of, I guess, enhancement by having the lights on there. I mean, it really does, getting that button here in the back, it really does create a very neat look for the guy, and honestly, it looks better just because you're able to put those actual lights on there. I mean, it is really fun to be able to turn those lights on and get his ears up here. Kind of Bumblebee likes having his ears out, but the overall enhancement of just the lights really does create a very cool kind of presence and display option for this guy. He really is terrific. Now, all said and done, this is an expensive piece. At almost $390, it really does appeal to only some very high-end collectors. This is not something that, you know, kids are going to be able to afford. But even at that price, I really do feel that with the amount of detail that's in this, from the sculpting to the paint applications to the light up features to the sheer size of the guy, it is well worth that price. As a collector of a lot of 1/6 scale figures and larger and more expensive collectibles, this really does kind of fit in that range where, yes, it's expensive, but I really do feel that you're getting what you paid for. Now, there are a few aspects that I'm not particularly thrilled about. For example, the thumb. But as you can see, when you have it in a fist like that, it does look pretty cool. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that it doesn't come with the batteries, but I understand that in terms of shipping, they can't have the batteries be installed. It won't go through customs very well. But if you get the batteries through a place like Amazon, you can get a bunch of them for fairly cheap. But as I said countless times in this video already, this guy is absolutely stunning. So if you are interested in adding this to your collection, he is available at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as a wide variety of other high-end collectibles. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.